I wanted to do kind of a follow-up video because I did my weekly prompt video for the groups. And really the purpose of the weekly prompt is to get you guys started recording. I want to give you an easy, low leverage prompt for you to get started recording your content because realistically, for me, it's more important that you get in the habit of recording than anything else. I think people tend to overthink at the beginning of it. And a lot of it has to do with this perfectionism trap that we all fall into. I'm guilty of it. I've been there, and so I'm kind of speaking from experience. And there's a couple of different things that the perfectionism trap kind of looks like. One, it looks like this. See this? This is my expensive-ish camera. Right now, it's old. It'll be considered an old used camera, but I mean, this will still cost you a couple $100. When I first copped this was a $1,500 camera, which at the time was a pretty big investment for me since I'd never purchased. Well, actually, I'm lying because I've purchased a camera right before this one. And I purchased the cameras back to back. But this was a pretty big investment on my end. And yeah, that camera it's done some commercial work for me. Um, you know, little mirrorless camera. There's a really steep learning curve to learning this. And one of the things I see people get caught up on when they're looking to get started is this. So they end up getting something like this. This is a Sony A6500. Like I said, this is an old camera. Um, they start out getting something like this, and they think that this is going to be their solution. Having something like this is going to, the visuals are going to be amazing. It's going to look more professional. Here's what the problem is: there is a ton of switches and dials and settings on this thing. Each one of these has its own individual learning curve. And so, yes, you can really record some amazing footage on this one. This is it's a 4K camera, but it records in 6K and down samples to 4K. You're never going to be able to, the chances of you requiring something of this magnitude or something, even this is an old camera. This camera's over 10 years old. The chances of you needing something like that for just business content, um, it's pretty far fetched. You don't need anything like that. This is a webcam that I bought from Amazon used. It's an Elgato webcam. Got it for about $70. That was my primary workhorse for a number of years, and nobody could tell the difference. Not a single person. This this little webcam that I got for $70, as opposed to this $1,500 plus tax camera. This camera has gotten more views than that camera. The gear doesn't matter. There are YouTubers out there right now that have shot their entire body of amazing content on pretty much a smartphone. Smartphones have world class cameras in them. They also have great mics because they are a phone. um, you don't need gear to start creating your content. And unfortunately, it ends up becoming this security blanket for you. So let's walk with me on this one, y'all. So gear is the big security blanket that a lot of people get hung up on when they're looking to start recording. And I'm not talking just about business owners at this point, even though that's who my content is for. I'm talking about anybody that wants to get into the content game. Gear is a security blanket. Okay. Um, Buying a $3,000 camera before you've made $300 in sales is not a business investment. Trust me, I was that fool. Um, it's a $3,000 security blanket, and it keeps you from facing the fact that you haven't really clarified your message yet. You haven't started anything. because buying that $3,000 camera means that now you have a $3,000 camera learning curve, so that you can look amazing like you see the people on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. Okay. A lot of the big live streamers, they aren't really using, some of them are using older mirrorless cameras and they plug them into capture cards and they go into their computer. Some are just using high quality webcams. And you don't need much more than that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, Audio is the thing that makes the difference in video. People will watch a video you know that has kind of marginal video quality. They will not watch an incredible video with bad audio. It won't happen. Okay. And so it ends up becoming this blame game. You want the expensive gear because if the video fails, you can blame the lens. But if you can record it on your iPhone, if you record it on your iPhone and it fails, you have to admit that you may have been the gap. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with a video failing. Matter of fact, there's everything right with a video failing. That gives you data points to use so that your next video can be a little bit better. We are trying to bypass the learning process. You're trying to take shortcuts and it's not going to work. Okay? There's a relatability gap. Nobody wants to buy it from a business owner who looks like this Netflix character. It looks polished. Some people do. Some people are going to be looking for that high end stuff, and that's great if that's what they're looking for. If the difference between them buying your product or service that solves a very specific problem for them at a generous fee, if the difference between them picking between you and spending a lot more to get a lot less with somebody else is the quality of, they're pixel peeping and they're like, well, this isn't a 6K video, this is only 1080 and all that. If that's the difference, then you probably don't want them as a customer. Just throwing that out there because they're not serious people. The people in the comments that complain about this kind of crap typically do not buy from you. They will not buy a damn thing from you. They will never buy anything from you. Their job is to exist online and complain about what you're doing or what you're doing wrong or what you ain't doing. And they will never purchase from you. Their job is to make you a little bit more miserable for that day. That is what their position is. That's what they exist to do. Okay. People that actually value their time and money, they want somebody that's going to solve their problems. That's what they're looking for. If I'm going to a business owner and it looks like they've invested way more time into their video presentation than their service delivery, that's going to be a one-off proposition. I don't care how great the video looks. If their service delivery doesn't stack up or if their service isn't any good, it's not going to make a difference to me. Okay. You're paying a competence tax by spending 40 hours a week learning color grading instead of spending 40 minutes talking to your customers and getting the reps in and recording videos. I gotta be honest with you. You're trying to learn all these high nuance things and all these high level things. You are not a professional videographer. You're a person who has a camera that is trying to reach customers so that they can come to your business and do business with you. That's it, y'all. It doesn't have to be this level of complex. Okay. And that 40 hours you're spending doing color grading, you could have just taken 10 and recorded 6 months worth of videos if you're dropping them once a month. Okay. You can record all those videos, drop them into a thing like Opus Clip Pro. It'll clip those videos and then you can distribute them to every platform that you're active on. You post one a day, you constantly have stuff going out there that's getting your message out in the world. You recorded one video, recorded two videos. You recorded 20 videos. You're building a library of content that you can always use as marketing assets. That's the game. But spending 40 hours a week learning how to do color grading or do this specific transition, um, do that Hitchcock zoom thing where you're zooming in on the camera but you're pulling it backward so you get this weird parallax effect. That's amazing, and I know how to do that on my camera. You don't need to know how to do that because that's not going to make a bit of difference to your clients. You're just wasting your time with all this other stuff. Okay. A lot of people are stuck in tutorial purgatory and doing a lot of fake work. Again, I've been there, y'all. My Audible account is a testament to the fact that I will overstudy and overlearn any a number of things. But the difference is at some point I take an action on that thing. Okay? There's a dopamine hit that comes with watching how-to videos. It's the most sophisticated form of procrastination you're ever going to find. If you want to optimize your procrastination, sit down and watch how-to videos. Amazing, high quality, great form of procrastination. You won't accomplish shit, but you will feel like you did because your brain will have the same kind of response that as that you have from watching these videos that you get from just taking some kind of action. You'll feel drained, you'll feel tired, and you'll feel really knowledgeable, and you wouldn't have accomplished a damn thing. Okay? You could get into tutorial purgatory, and it's really simple. We live in the information age. There's all kinds, like you have a supercomputer in the palm of your hand. You can look up any piece of data that you've ever wanted to know, learn anything you've ever wanted to learn about. You don't need to learn anything else. You know everything you need to know. It's time to get started. The thing that's going to give you the real data that's going to benefit you is getting out there and screwing up and doing it the wrong way and then learning how to do it the right way. Um, it's the difference between practical knowledge and then this assortment of collected knowledge that you have in your brain. Get some actual practical knowledge, practical application. Okay. I'm off my script, but I need to throw that in there. Okay. Very sophisticated form of procrastination with how-to videos. It makes you feel productive. And you're really just a spectator in your own experience. Okay. Tutorial purgatory is this. You've watched enough YouTube University to earn a film degree, but your uploads tab is a ghost town. You haven't uploaded anything. You haven't solicited your audience for any kind of real feedback about how you can get better. You haven't. And unfortunately, y'all, that's a comfortable place that a lot of people, they live in that place. Okay. Because planning is great, man. Planning feels amazing. You get to sit there and use your imagination, and really feel like you're doing something. But at some point, you have to actually take the action step of doing it, implementing, executing the thing, because execution is where the real data is. Okay. It crosses over from being a student to a consumer who's too scared to be a novice. And I've talked about this in previous videos. That fear of being a novice is stopping you from the life that you want to live. Your ego about not wanting to feel like a rookie is stopping you from the life that you want to live in. And the only way to get past it is be new at something, be bad at something, but at least you're doing something. Okay. A lot of times when you see, like, if you're in a specific industry, and I've been in that position where you're in a specific industry and you see somebody is outperforming you, um, you make this assumption that they know something that you don't. That's kind of a human assumption. You think that it's outside of your ability to compete with them because they're beating you. That's not really the point. Your competitor is not smarter than you. Their product isn't better. They may be executing and going out there and just rolling the dice. And because they've executed enough, they have enough capital to execute on a higher level than you can right now. The only thing that's the bridge between them and you is they execute the thing and you are still learning about the thing because you think that your learning is going to put you above their execution, and it never will. They'll always be a little bit ahead of you no matter how much you learn. They're always going to be a rung above you because they're executing and getting real-time data points. They know what works and what does not work. You have to get to that point. Okay. They're not afraid of looking cheap. They're not afraid of a video looking bad. They're actually doing the thing. Okay. I've seen plenty of videographers, plenty of marketing agencies where I look at their video like, I could shoot a better video than that. I could record a better video than that. But they had been executing longer than I have, and so they've earned their spot ahead of me. I need to catch up. I need to get out there and execute the thing. I need to go out there and get the real-time feedback about the thing. Okay? Stop worrying about looking cheap or unprofessional or anything. Get out there and start getting the reps in so that you can get comfortable talking to camera. You can get comfortable with whatever setup you have and comfortable with lighting and all that other stuff. But you have to do the thing in order to get better at the thing. That's the game, y'all. You have to get the practice in. You try to skip practice and go straight to game time, and you're not ready. You tell yourself you're preparing with this research mirage. You tell yourself you're preparing, but after 2 weeks of research and preparation, it's just turned into a slow motion, uh, just this slow motion catastrophe with your business. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But it's turned into a slow motion business, just pit stop. You're just stalled right there on the side of the road. You're not doing anything. You've done all the research. You haven't executed on one iota of the research, and then you start thinking that, well, I didn't know enough, or my sources were flawed, or blah 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 blah. A lot of it has to do with the fact that you have not taken the first step to do the thing. Okay. Here's the thing, and this is an unofficial rule, but I'm just throwing it out there. It's the cash over cinema logic, right? The 90% rule: a clean phone lens and a bright window represent 90% of the visual quality you need to make your first bit of money with content that you're recording. Doesn't matter if you're trying to just sell the content. If you're just a content creator, it doesn't matter if you're a business owner who uses content to drive business. A clean phone lens and a bright window is better than literally anything else. It's about 90% of the quality you need to make your first bit of money. Anything beyond that is play and dress up. You're optimizing, which is fine. Once you get the mastery, then you can get a little bit better at doing the thing. But at least let's get started with the clean phone camera and a window with some light coming in. Okay. People always forgive grainy video if the information changes their life, but they will not sit there and watch a 4K video if the audio sounds like you're inside of a trash can. It's just not going to work. Your audio is more important than your video at every step of the way. Okay. So we've gotten past the execution piece, and so hopefully I've gotten you off the bench and you're ready to go into the game and get the reps in, because that's really what I want you to do. I want you to get to the point where you're getting the reps in. Okay. So we're going to talk about, and this is for business owners. So if you're a content creator, this may or may not be for you. I've seen the most successful content creators treat their content like a business. So you might want to stick around. Okay. And if you're interested, I have an online school community. Everybody has a school community. I have a school community that is really based on teaching the basics of recording and being there so I can help you and coach you through the process and a lot of other things. You're going to find the links in the description when you see this video, wherever you see it. Okay. Um, so we're gonna get into talking about business, right? So here's the thing: if you can't explain your business value in three simple bullet points on a sticky notes, and a high end microphone isn't gonna make you sound like an authority. It's gonna make you sound like you're confused, but really, really clear. Okay. A video with a few syllables and a dog barking in the background, it establishes that you're a human being. You guys may or may not hear my washer running in the background. It is what it is. Okay. But it proves that you're dealing with a real person with a real business, which is exactly why it will outconvert something that is super polished, overly scripted, overly lit with some color grading and all the other stuff. It's gonna your video that looks like a real person is gonna outperform that other video because the second video that is over scripted and over polished looks like an ad. Your video looks like a conversation. We are in a time where people skip past ads. They've been talking about it in the industry for years. Super Bowl ads, yeah, people still watch them, but the numbers are going down because people will skip past them. Okay. Here's the thing. In 2026, if I can't find a video of your face explaining how you solve any problem, your business is effectively closed to a good chunk of the internet. Okay. You're running a ghost town, a professional ghost town, and you're wondering why your phone isn't ringing. People are shopping online. They're making their purchase decisions on social media platforms via content that they engage with. You know, that TikTok video of the guy cleaning an engine, with power washing an engine, is going to get him business. Okay. Every week you spend perfecting your first video is a week where your first five potential clients choose your competitor because that guy showed up on their feed and you did not. Social media platforms are prioritizing video content across the board. That's the game. That's real. Even LinkedIn wants video content. I've talked about it in other videos. It's a lot of it has to do with how they can put ads in videos and it makes money for them. So it's a win-win proposition for them. They get free content from you. They can put ads in it. They get paid from the ads. Your videos get visibility in front of people that matter that will watch them. They're incentivized to show your video to the right audience. Okay. The thing is, and I'm not as extreme where I think perfectionism is a form of narcissism. I know, I don't like using clinical terms to describe people just having hangups about how they look on camera, how they sound. But you have to be less obsessed with how you look and how you sound. Okay. Your job is to help the person that's sitting there watching your video. That's what your job is. How you show up doesn't matter as much as opposed to what you say when you show up. Okay. Here's the thing. And this is the myth of momentum, and this is why I've always said that I do believe that New Year's resolutions are bullshit to a degree. A lot of times we think that you're gonna start when you're ready, and ready ends up becoming this moving goalpost. Okay, ready is a feeling that only comes after you've gotten the reps in and posted those 20 videos that you're not happy with, and realized the world didn't end because you know the lighting was a little bit off. That's when you're ready. So, um, I'm glad if you've watched this. Again, this is my first broadcast on Riverside FM. I'm kind of weighing out a couple of different things that I want to do. And I have a whole story. I'm probably going to sit there and explain, why I'm probably going to be making some choices and some different choices in terms of video editing software. Right now, I'm using Descript that handles the bulk of my video editing. It's an AI powered video editor that has some good features in there. But a lot of times when you're dealing with startups, a lot of times they'll rope you in with specific features and then paywall you to access the features that brought you to the party. And so that's kind of what I'm going through right now. And hopefully we get a course correction from Descript, but I'm playing around with Riverside to see how it works. If you want to know what Riverside and Descript and all other stuff is, I've done a video that explains my entire tech stack and how I do things. I'll post it somewhere around here on the screen if you're interested in that. Otherwise, get out there and get started recording. All right. That's what the most important thing is. Start before you're ready. If you start before you're ready, you're going to be a lot further than the person that is sitting there over deliberating, over deliberating, over deliberating. Okay? So, get out there and execute. All right? That's all I got. I will talk to y'all later. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Brian with the Unstuck Sessions. Get unstuck today. Get rolling. Stop waiting. Your customers are out there waiting to hear from you. That's all I got. I'll talk to you later. Peace.